Could you speak about the other personalities on your teams?
Warren Dailey was kind of a nut, effusive. I told you he exploded with the ball. He was, I've seen him, of course, since, and he's, well, we all age, but when he was on the team, he was the fun, upbeat kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fellow earlier by the name of Jack Nosher from Illinois, and he used to love to gamble. And no one had any money. And we had IOUs floating back and forth that hopefully everybody broke even at the end. But we were playing for a lot of money relative to what we had. And Jack was an absolute character. Bobby Sims was another fellow on our team, one of our teams anyway, and he became a pilot. He was always interested in the military. That was going to be his career, and turned out to be his career. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. He crashed at some point. So I can't say there were really characters. They were just good friends, and there wasn't anyone who did anything absurd, at least that I can recall. Pretty tame bunch.
Except on the golf course. Except on the golf course.
Yeah, we were good on the golf course. Experiences of winning? Well, we were pretty good vis-a-vis the rest of the Pac-10. I think we won every single championship and also the individual titles. McElyea, Schroeder won. Can't remember the third year, but it was not very competitive as far as the Stanford golf team was concerned those years, with all due modesty.
You were too good. Too much depth. If you say starting 1960 backwards, who was the finest Stanford golfer who you observed or played with or was a teammate of?
Fred Brown.
Interesting.
Brown was a very good player, and he won the Broadmoor Invitational more than once, and that was one of the primary amateur events. Phil Getchell did very well after graduation. Chuck Van Ling was a very, very good golfer. He over the years has proven what a really good player he was.
Did any of them play professionally?
No. Professional golf seemed a long way away.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas was quoted as saying, "Unless you've won your state amateur, forget it."
Yeah.
That was the test. I mean, you haven't proven that you're #1 amateur. How can you possibly go on the tour? And I think that was the feeling that professional golf was not an option except for amateur.
Could you talk about Dick McElyea?
Well, he was a very close friend because, as I said, he was in high school. He was rather well-to-do. At least his father had lots of golf clubs. And, you know, you got the thrill of seeing these clubs because, remember, in 1946, they weren't making golf clubs. Well, the grips were paper. You know, it didn't get going until sometime after the war. But Dick's father got a lot of golf clubs. And secondly, Dick loved Dixieland jazz, and he had records that wouldn't stop. He lived in a lovely home in Palo Alto, and he was a very gentle, nice fellow. And that was true all his life. And he couldn't hit the ball very far, and it was a surprise that he won the Pacific Coast. But he was meticulous, a meticulous golfer. And even though he couldn't move the ball very far, he never was out of play, and he had a magnificent short game. And he'd just wear you down. Kind of reminded me of that, it wasn't Jerry Barber, it was the other fellow who won the PGA, hitting 4 woods 10 feet from the hole, 50 yards behind Sam Snead.
You say it wasn't Miller Barber?
No, it wasn't
Jerry Barber.
Yeah. It was the other fellow from Southern California, and won the PGA. which was then match play. And so Dick was gentle, never any trouble. He was kind. He was not showy. He was modest. He was a modest fellow who went about playing golf as best he could, and as best he could was very good. He wouldn't shoot 66, but he'd rarely shoot 76. That sort of golfer, just right there always. And a wonderful fellow in every respect.
So the long hitters in those days are getting it out off the tee. How far?
Well, I can remember Warren Dailey hitting it where the boys hit it today. Maybe slightly shorter, but he was hitting 4 irons into 1. So that's 1953.
That's huge.
He was very long. He exploded on the ball. It wasn't a smooth piece of work, which it's my impression that clubhead speed is generated effortlessly these days, and it goes a long way. Warren got away with exploding on the ball, but he was huge, huge. He got it out to the trees on 12, knocked it on 15.
From the tee.
I wasn't short. I won the NCAA driving contest. They used to have a driving contest. But that was you got 3 balls. And you could, the one longest ball was one prize, 3 in the fairway and length. I won that one.
How far did you hit it?
I can't remember. It was up there in the first hole at Colorado Springs.
Oh,
What ball did you most
Title
consistently play?
Spalding Dot.
Spalding Dot.
Then along came Max Fly, and at the NCAA in Houston, I hit a shot that didn't reach the green, and I hit it out of the bunker, and then hit a putt, and it only went halfway. And then I looked at the ball, and it was oozing white stuff, so I never played a Max Fly again.
You literally creamed it.